Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the Lawyers of India Day celebration organized by the Bar Association of India. May I now request the dignitaries to kindly come to the dais. Honorable Mr. Justice Madan B. Lokur, Honorable Justice Menon, Chief Justice of High Court of Delhi, Attorney General for India, Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, President Bar Association of India, President-elect Mr. Prashant Kumar, and Mr. Amarjit Singh Chandok, Vice President Bar Association of India. Thank you.
Madhavi, if she is there.
To begin with, first of all, may I wish all of you, all the lawyers present here, a very happy Lawyers' Day. Then may I now request Mr. Prashant Kumar, President-elect the Bar Association of India, to kindly give his welcome address. Thank you. Mr. Prashant Kumar.
Honorable Mr. Justice Madan B. Lokur, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Rajendra Menon, Chief Justice, High Court of Delhi. Mr. K.K. Venugopal, Attorney General for India and Chairman ex officio of the Bar Association of India. Honorable Dr. Lalit Bhasin, President, the Bar Association of India. Mr. Chandok and Anandita, Honorary General Secretary of the Bar Association of India. Friends, it's my pleasant duty to welcome all of you to this third edition of the Lawyers of India Day, which we celebrate by recognizing the outstanding contributions made by the members of the bar. So I will also request all of you, apart from dignitaries, to welcome all the awardees who are the real attraction for today's Lawyers of India Day. Friends, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the first president, inaugurated this institution, along with Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, then Chief Justice Das of Supreme Court of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan, and other luminaries. I have a special affinity because I spent my most impressionable years of life, that is 17 and 18, while copy editing the original letters and documents of Dr. Rajendra Prasad in the publication project. That is what transformed my thinking, my worldview, and also prepared me to be a lawyer with integrity. Because there are so many documents which were published, there were so many documents which could not be published. I went through them all, and never there was a temptation to make a copy and keep any of them, though I had my hands on these documents in the National Archives. And another thing which I learned from that experience, while reading the interstate correspondence between all the stalwarts from Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, is the special grit all of them had. They had their differences. They have their differing points of view. They had respect for each other. But each of them had unflinching loyalty and dedication to the ideal of the new republic which was being born. And so that was the lesson which I had while going through all this for 2 years. with Madhvi Diwan, who will be shortly joining us as editor, Anandita as associate editor. We'll be taking it up later on that, some of these things are published for all our lawyers community to read, which goes far beyond and deeper than what we read from the Constituent Assembly debates. So friends, without making much ado, I welcome all of you to this Lawyers of India Day with a pledge that we have to give the highest value not just to our professional competence and ethics, but integrity above all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prashantji. Now may I request Mr. Amarjit Singh Chandok, Vice President, Bar Association of India, to kindly address the gathering.
My Lord Justice Madan Lokur, the Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Menon, the Attorney General for India, the awardees, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. The purpose of the celebration is to bring back our heritage, bring back those ethics, those morals, those values that this profession stands for. And each of these awardees has stood by it, and we are looking at to create this into an institutional situation where not only people who have contributed so far, but maybe as time will come, we'll also look for people who are going to add to the profession tomorrow, and some youngsters also in this way. Probably we have to build them up to see whether they can live up to the idols of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. While welcoming you all once again and congratulating all the awardees, we are looking at all others who have contributed to it, and probably times to come, they would also get their requisite awards. Welcome all. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chandok. Now may I request our President, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, to kindly come and give his address.
Thank you, Anandita. Honorable Justice Lokur, Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon, Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Mr. Paris, the former Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, who is present here, will you please acknowledge his presence? Mr. K.K. Venugopal, the Attorney General of India, Mr. Prashant Kumar, Mr. Amarjit Singh Chandok, Ms. Anandita Pujari, Madhvi Diwan, Mrs. Sania Nariman, Mr. Rupinder Suri, other distinguished members and leaders of the bar and the office bearers of the Bar Association of India. Why do we have the Lawyers of India Day? This was conceptualized in the year 2016 because there were Doctors' Day, there is Teachers' Day, some Engineers' Day, and also, fortunately, we do have the Constitution Day and the Law Day. But there's nothing about the lawyers, you see, of India or the advocates who practice. So we decided to institutionalize 3rd December, which is the birth anniversary of late Dr. Rajendra Prasad, himself a very eminent lawyer who gave up his practice to join the struggle for freedom and eventually became the President of India. And as Prashant rightly said, there is another reason that it was Dr. Rajendra Prasad who inaugurated this nearly 60 years ago in 1959, inaugurated the Bar Association in the distinguished presence of the Vice President of India, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and Pandit Nehru, and the Chief Justice of India, and also Mr. M.C. Setalvad, who continues to remain the role model for all the generations of lawyers which have come. So that was the background in which Bar Association was set up. So we thought it is to the credit of the legal profession that we must have a Lawyers of India Day. And Lawyers of India Day is not just meant, you see, that lawyers from Delhi alone or lawyers who just practice in the Supreme Court. So we decided to pick out, with the help of our local branches, with the help of the bar associations of different states, high courts, that who are the best people who should be acknowledged as the leaders of the bar, who have contributed very significantly, not only in maintenance of the rule of law, but also in furthering the profession, which is still considered to be a noble profession due to our vast heritage that we have. So we don't pick up people only who make a lot of money, you see, like only the senior counsel. Yes, it is, nothing is wrong in making money, but still the idea, the selection criteria is that they must have contributed in some significant way of giving it back to the society. And the phrase, you see, which I have coined for this is that they must be engaged in professional social responsibility. And so far the people whom we have chosen, who are the living legends, you see, of this profession, they have measured up to our expectations. And this year, if you have this booklet with you, you will see the past awardees of the last 2 years. 3rd December 2016, the awardees were Mr. Anil Devan, Mr. Ashok Desai, Mr. Dipankar Gupta, Mr. Fali Nariman, Mr. Harish Salve, Mr. Parasaran, Mr. Venugopal, Mr. R.K.P. Shankar Das, Soli Sorabji. But we also recognize the role played by the law teachers, who are actually the teachers of the lawyers when they are law students. And the first award, Law Teacher Award, as a part of this was to Professor N.R. Madhav Menon. In the next year, we gave awards to Mr. B.V. Acharya, Senior Advocate, well known in Bangalore, and Gopal Subramaniam, Mr. I.M. Chagla, Mr. Manohar Usgaonkar, Mr. Murlidhar Bhandare, Mr. Narnarayan Goptu, Mr. Nilay Anand Datta, Mr. N.K. Anand, Mr. R.N. Junjunwala, and Mr. U.R. Lalit. And the Law Teacher Award was given to Mr. Professor Dr. Moolchand Sharma. The awardees this year, again a very, very distinguished list of eminent people and from different parts of India. And we go alphabetically. Mr. Ashok Aggarwal from northern India, Chandigarh. Miss Indira Jaising, I think she belongs to the entire country, not just one region. Koka Raghav Rao, senior advocate who is in his 90s now and has traveled all the way from Hyderabad. He is a designated senior advocate. Then, of course, we have our own Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. I don't think I need to elaborate on who he is, and he is the former Attorney General of India. That is a very brief description about his various achievements and the role he plays. And Mr. Pradip Kumar Khaitan, Attorney at Law, and the celebrated Mr. Rafique Dada. I think he embellishes, you see, the Bombay High Court with his law practice, but now he is recognized, I think, all over the country. We are indeed privileged that he is here with his wife and the family. Thank you, Rafique. And we have someone who is really devoted her career, not just to make a law practice, but to render some service to the society, and that is Sadhana Ramachandran, who is one of the most well-known mediators and who is a part of the mediation center set up by the Delhi High Court. She's done great service to the cause of mediation in this country when all other avenues of getting justice are virtually closed. And then we have Mr. Sriram Panchu from all the way from Chennai. He's here with his wife, and we are indeed privileged to have your presence here. And not to forget my very dear friend and colleague from Kolkata, Mr. Sudipto Sarkar, senior advocate. He's been a pillar of strength, you see, to the Bar Association. And the Law Teacher Award this year goes to Professor Dr. Ranbir Singh, who is again one of us, and so many of you must have been his students also, Professor Ranbir Singh. So these are the awardees we have. You will find that this list is from all over the country. We would welcome suggestions from all of you who will receive the awards today, from the distinguished hands of none other than Honorable Justice Madan Lokur and Honorable Justice Rajendra Menon and Mr. K.K. Venugopal, that please suggest to us names for the 2019 awards from your respective regions. It is indeed a pleasure and privilege for us to have a person of the competence, caliber, and who is known not because of his name as Justice Madan Lokur, but because of the judgments that you see he has delivered. Someone asked me, can we get a CV of Justice Lokur? I said, why do you need a CV? Go through his judgments, you see. That is the CV, you see, of the honorable judges. So we are indeed privileged to have the presence of the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, and he adds, you see, his vast and wide and varied experience of different courts and has brought that to Delhi. So we are indeed privileged to have your presence here, sir. And Mr. K.K. Venugopal, well, he's really one of us. Whenever we go to him for any help, assistance or guidance, including financial help also, he never lets us down. And it's indeed a privilege to have him as not only the Attorney General of India, but also as the ex officio chairman of the Bar Association of India and the constitutional leader of the Indian Bar. It's a privilege to have you, sir. So friends, I welcome all of you. Keep on encouraging us and strengthening us by participating in our events. 2019 is going to be a historic year because we celebrate 60 years of the Bar Association of India. So we'll be having a series of activities all across the country, and I would request your help and support in organizing these events. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bhasin. Now, it's really an honor to now invite the Attorney General for India, K.K. Venugopal ji, to kindly come and give his address.
Justice Madan Lokur, Justice Chief Justice Rajendra Menon, the President of the Bar Association of India, Dr. Lalit Bhasin, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, President-elect, Dr. Chandiok, Mr. Pujari, and my good friends. I did not know that I was an ex officio president of the Bar Association of India, and it's the first time I am hearing about it. I was a vice president from 1979 when I came over to Delhi as Additional Solicitor General. And in between 1979 and today, somewhere in between they threw me out. as Vice President. Therefore, I am very happy to know that I am now the President. Shri settled as a President at one time. It is, I think, during G. Ramaswamy's Attorney Generalship that the ex officio presidentship was conferred upon him. Fali Nariman became the President, and after that we have had an eminent and presidents one after the other. No topic has been given to me for speaking today, but I have selected the topic of the state of the bar today. All of you know that the lawyer's profession, the legal profession, was known as an honorable profession, as a noble profession. And I heard Dr. Lalit Basin saying that we are still a noble profession. I'm sorry. I'm not sure that I can agree with that. The Economist, some years